Welcome back to Cook It Simple with Eric. Today we are making a triple chocolate no-bake dessert bar, I guess is what we're going to call it. This is the trifecta of chocolate. We have cocoa powder, we have dark chocolate, and we also have milk chocolate. Mixed in with some cream cheese, sugar. It is delicious. So here it is. Look at that. Some nice milk chocolate chips on the top. In our batter we have our dark chocolate. We have an Oreo crust. Ooh, it is not a trifecta. It is a quadfecta, if that's a word. So come with me. I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful dessert. Alright, here's our star lineup that we have. We're going to start with the crust. We're going to have 25 Oreo cookies. I just leave the filling in it. It's not going to hurt anything. I do a 1/4 cup of your melted butter. We'll melt that when we're ready. We have a heavy 3/4 cup of your heavy whipping cream. This is a 10-ounce bag of your Ghirardelli dark chocolate flavored little melted wafers that we're going to melt in the microwave. We'll get to that. We have 2 8-ounce blocks of your cream cheese softened. We have a 1/4 cup of your cocoa powder. It's going to bring a nice richness about the whole thing. We have your 1 cup of your granulated sugar. We have just a pinch of salt. Adding salt to the mix will just kind of enhance the rest of the flavors. Now as a topper, we're going to use the milk chocolate morsels, the little chips. We're just going to drop them on top, make it look pretty. Now you can also use a ganache on top of this. A lot of people do. This recipe, there's a lot of different recipes out here for this. This is the one that I think works for me best. This is a no-bake. Should I say virtually no-bake? Because we do have to bake the crust for about 5 minutes. If we didn't bake it for 5 minutes, we'd have to put it in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. So we're going the simple way and the quick way. All right, so to get our crust up and going, we just need to take our Oreos, drop them in the food processor real quick. And those of you who are gluten intolerant, have a gluten issue of any sorts, and needs to eat gluten-free foods, Oreo makes a wonderful gluten-free chocolate cookie that you can use for the crust in this. Do the rest of the mix exactly the same way, and you have yourself a gluten-free dessert. It's wonderful. So all we have to do now is get this pulsed. Let's take a look at that, see what we have. All right, still have a few of these cookies hanging out here, so let's pulse a little bit more. Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks about like we want there. We grab a spoon, I'll show you what our consistency is looking like. So you can see we're just kind of a nice little flaky breadcrumby look. That's what we want. Looks like all the cookies are mashed up here. So what we want to do next is take our melted butter, give it a nice stir, get everything mixed back in. Like I said, 1/4 cup of butter. And this is kind of bind everything together. Then we'll put it in our 8x8. All right, and we pulse. All right, that should be good. The rest we can do by hand if we need to. Oh yeah. Now you'll see it kind of starts getting a little sticky in there. I'll show you that super quick. How it kind of sticks together there. Got Stuart getting a drink of water. He always does that while we're baking. So, all right, let's get this in our dish. All right, now that we've got our crust done up here, I'm just going to throw this in this 8x8 glass dish. Now I did go ahead and just the bottom of it, I lightly greased it with some butter flavored Crisco. Now you can also line it with parchment paper, anything like that. I mean, that's, you know, whatever your bakery choice is. So we're going to do that. Now here you can just use something square bottom to flatten it out, whatever. I've got this fancy tool that I've had for years. I think it might be for baking or dough rolling. I don't know. I think we've got everything in there. All right, let's bake it for about 5 minutes. All right, the next steps in our process here is we do our cream cheese. Like I said, our 2 8-ounce blocks of softened cream cheese. Definitely want to make sure it's softened, or you will have a heck of a time trying to get it mixed. Sometimes you can peel them off, they just come out just beautifully. All right, so then we also want to put our granulated sugar in, 1 cup. That I'll put in there. There we go, or just our dash of salt. Like I said, it doesn't take much, just a little pinch. Now here we're not going to measure because you don't need a lot, you just need about that much. And we'll go with that. All right, let's get the mixer out. Get this mixed up, get everything incorporated nicely. There we go, nicely whipped up cream cheese and sugar and your little bit of vanilla. All right, real quick before I melt these, I'm going to show you what these little wafers look like. These look like little white chocolate wafers. So we're going to put these in the microwave. We're going to put these in for about 30 seconds and then off 30 seconds, on 30 seconds, probably about 90 seconds. We'll get all these as long as we get it all melted up nicely. All right, we have our chocolate melted. Like I said, we did 30-second bursts, so I did 3 of them. Look how nicely that chocolate has turned out, and it's hot. Yep, the rest of those little bits, they'll melt with it, but like I said, it was 90 seconds total for that whole bag. So quick and simple. Now you're going to let this cool down just a touch. Right now it's pretty hot because it's still melty. So let's let it come down to room temperature. We're just thereabouts, so I'll see you in just a second. All right, I've let the chocolate cool down. So now we're just going to pour that in. Look at that. Oh, there's nothing like melted chocolate. It's just so silky and just tasty. Next, we want to add our cocoa powder. Add the whole mix in. All right. Now, we just want to take our mixer and get everything mixed together. Jeez Louise. All right, now you want to make sure you get all off the sides of the bowl. Make sure everything is incorporated in. You'll see at the bottom we still got a little bit of white, so we just do that. We have a little more mixing to do, so don't have to be too perfect about it. All right, now let's get this set aside, and then we're going to get our heavy cream, get that whipped up where it needs to be. All right, and our third step? Just take our heavy cream. Now, in this step, you want to make sure your heavy cream comes right out of the refrigerator, because we are going to whip it up a little bit. With the mixer, we're going to try to get a medium peak. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. Now I always use a little bit larger bowl because if you see me with the mixer and you already have, I can get kind of messy. So we're just going to do this on high until we get some stiff peak or medium peaks going. Okay, it's been probably about 4 minutes on high, and you can see how that's just kind of got a little peak going on. We'll call those medium peaks. So, all right, here's our last part or process here. Now we just take our heavy whipping cream that we've whipped to a medium peak. Now we just want to put it all in to our batter here. Ever notice it's hard for me to have a full conversation when I'm doing something? All right. I notice that I'll get to talking, then all of a sudden I'm busy and I stop talking, so sorry about that. All right, let's get this incorporated a little bit with the mixer. Then we'll make sure to scrape the sides, and our batter should be just about done. Go ahead and mix this up, get everything off the bottom. Oh yeah, that is looking perfect. I think at this point we'll just fold it all in, finish off the mixing process that way. Now our crust, I did pull that out at 5 minutes and it was set up just beautifully. All right. Oh yeah, see how nice and silky that is? You gotta try it. That is actually just right. Creamy, chocolatey, everything we want. Once we add that to that nice Oreo crust and throw some milk chocolate chips on top, this thing will be perfect. So let me grab our crust. Now I've let this cool all the way down. Our process didn't take long, but you can see it's nice and solid. So let's go ahead, get our batter in here. Tell you what, I'm so darn excited about this. Can't stand it. Okay, now that we've got all the batter in, gotta make sure we got all of it out of the bowl. Now see, I'm just excited about this because I used to do a lot of cooking and baking with my mom and my great-grandma, and oh, it's wonderful memories. And I think one of them is, number one, I loved watching the process of the cooking, how they did it, and baking. I also just loved spending time with them. But my favorite part of all was licking the beaters. How many of you have that memory of waiting and patiently just to lick the beaters? And in my case, I had two sisters and an older brother, so they always tried to get there before me, but you know, being mom's favorite, yes, Michelle, mom's favorite, and Carmen, just kidding. But at any rate though, so here we go, we have our top, put all that good stuff on there. All we have to do is add our chocolate morsels. Let me wash my hands and we'll get right back to that. And for our last and final step, I don't know what the best way to put these on. Just kind of sprinkle these about. Now just sprinkle them out of the bag. These are the milk chocolate chips. Like I said, you can do semi-sweet or dark chocolate or whatever you want to do. You know, make sure there's plenty in there for each bite. And if you're a die-hard chocolate fan like I am, yeah, you don't want to skimp on them. You just put them on. As many or as little as you want on there. Throw that in. Oh, look at that. I am so excited to eat this, but unfortunately we can't eat it right away because we have to let that set up in the refrigerator. So normally you'd want about 3 to 4 hours setup time. In my case, 10 o'clock at night because my schedule has been off, and as my subscribers know, the past couple weeks, I think I've put one video out, which I apologize for that, but we're getting back on a normal schedule here after this week. So, but for our dessert, so I'm going to put this in the refrigerator overnight. We're going to come back in the morning, have a little taste of this thing. So enjoy. Look at the pretty layers. Oh, this is going to be so good. So, all right, I'll see you in the morning. Well, it's next morning. I've let our dessert set up overnight. Let's pull this thing out and look at it. That right there is gorgeous. Now, when I put it in the refrigerator last night, I did cover it with plastic. I took it off, kind of checked it this morning. So here we go. So let's go ahead and slice into this. Try to get it on a plate in a pretty manner, and we'll go. Now I'm going to do mine in 9. So we're going to have 9 bars, or whatever we want to call this. Right there. It's nice and cold. Our crust is nice and thick. Alright, so I've got these cut into 9 pieces, and all you have to do is just basically go around with your knife and do this. Now you could have used parchment paper to do this and kind of just pull them up out of there if you wanted. But so I'm going to try to get that piece right there out without making a mess out of it. So wish me luck. Well, I tried to get it out as best I could and pretty as I could. So here we go. It worked, but the part we've all been waiting for, let's give this a try. I mean, it is just, it's getting a little, it's been sitting out filming and stuff, so you definitely want to get it cold now, the refrigerator, but it's still firmed up. We'll get some Oreo crust on this thing. I'll just do a little bite. Another recipe that is so good. So this one here, very chocolatey, especially with that cocoa powder. Gives a nice chocolate richness about it. So you have to give this one a try again. Like I said, you got 4 different kinds of chocolate in here. They all complement each other with that cream cheese. So good. So again, you have to give it a try. Let me know if you do try it. Let me know what you think. If you changed anything, let me know that too. But again, thank you so much for watching Cook It Simple with Eric. I hope you come back next week and watch me again. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you like the videos, like and share them. That's great. Last week we did really well with subscribers, likes, and views. So check that video out. It's the Stroganoff video. But right now I think we're coming out every Wednesday morning is how I'm going to do this now. I had a couple weeks where I had to start changing my schedule around again. So I think every Wednesday morning we'll be back on track. So I'll see you next week. Thank you.